I remember being in elementary school and one day being taken out back in this small little rural town called Cordele, Georgia. There was a barn and a fence and an old wagon, and she told us, draw what you see, anything you choose. And I ended up drawing this scene. This was in 3rd grade. And she raved about it, and I enjoyed it, and it became something that I just truly knew that was coming from inside of me, because I had no formal training. Not in a small town like Cordele was art necessarily encouraged or recognized. But from that day on, I knew this was something that I liked. However, as I grew, I also knew I needed to go out and make a living. But all the while, through college and throughout of my life, I was dibbling and dabbling in arts, primarily watercolors and a little bit of acrylics, but primarily watercolors. And eventually, as I started to climb Maslow's ladder and realize self-actualization, I knew that I needed to find my authentic self. And if I had a choice of what would I do, even without being paid or recognition, what it is I could do. And art was the only thing that came natural for me and something that I really could get lost in and loved. But in corporate America, it also gave me an opportunity to travel the world and expose myself to various cultures and others, and always, whether it was in London or Paris, if I was there on business, I took the opportunity to visit the museums and explore the culture of the people, even taking public bus rides from one end of the city to the other so I could really understand what was going on behind the beauty of being a tourist. When I decided to give myself to this, I studied in New York at the Westchester Art Center, went with one of the professors to Florence, Italy, stayed there for a month and studied with him, as well as did all the normal things, the Uffizi Museum, the David, art appreciation. But we also had a villa where 4 hours a day we painted under his supervision. So to see Tuscany being unfold on the canvas was a great joy for me. And recently I've studied with a world famous Dutch artist, Frits van Eaton, out of, I'm with Fritz whenever I'm in that area, but mainly out of the Brevard Art Museum is where he works. My favorite piece is always my latest piece, and that would be this piece here, First Sunday, wherein the African American woman has her finest in dress and being in church on the first Sunday. Like with any young girl, you're inspired and influenced by many people, but there were 2 people in my life that truly, truly influenced me by their support, and no matter what I chose to do. It's my mother, Miss Leela Kelly, and my sister, I call her my sister cousin, who I was raised in the household with, Minnie Mae Redding Cornelius. They not only supported me in what my choice of things to do were, but they kept me supplied with pencil, paper, and crayons. And I'd just like to acknowledge their influence on my choices in life. So I'm convinced there are no accidents and no coincidence. We are where we are for a reason. And somewhere in our lives, if we can put it all together, and I'm not claiming to have it all together, but I can now see there are things that have played into who I am today, and it all came from those experiences, life experiences. So I'm now expressing those life experiences on canvas.